Yo, what's going on? Kanal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Guys, hopefully you guys are having a fantastic beginning to summer. I know for some of you northern folks, it's just starting to get warm out. While the weather is getting warmer, guess what? The stock market has been heating back up. I know it was a long winter for a lot of you guys. You know, we had multiple decent-sized fades in the stock market, but boy, beyond that, it just felt terrible, right? We had a SPAC winter with so many of all these SPACs just like coming back down to earth, you know, like every single one, right? Just tanked. I mean, so many momentum stocks that people loved all fell down 70, 80%, and they kind of had to, right? I mean, most of these things are turds, but we have seen in the last few weeks a rebound in so many names, of companies that were left for dead. You know, as the market itself has started to rebound, and you see with the QQQ, which is the main index that I personally use to track the market, we're almost right back at all-time highs. We've got a big range there that if it breaks, I think is going to start a monster run in tech stocks, especially because so many of them have been beaten down. SPACs, EV, tech, they've all been falling all year while there has been a rotation into what they call value names, right? Like you're seeing all these oil companies and, you know, like companies like John Deere and Caterpillar, right? Like the most boring companies around all going. I think we're going to start seeing a rotation out of these and into some of these tech SPACs, EV type of names. So what are some of my favorites? As the QQQ gets ready to break out, as you can see here, right? You got going for round 3. The old high is 342. We're right almost in the kitchen on this thing. We're getting close. And you can just see on the underlying structure, if you're looking at hourly chart, we've got a really nice rebound in the works here. So what are my faves here? Like, what are some of the ones that we can use to participate? Right now, what are we seeing? Bottoming plays like cloves, like the stocks that are like the biggest turds around, they're flying around. So what we want to do, and I'm not into meme stocks and, you know, kind of Wall Street bets things. I tend to trade more regular things. I mean, I will, of course, you know, get my hands dirty for a little bit, but that's not my particular bread and butter. But like, what are some stocks that like we can trade right now that are safe, they got good setups, that have like decent locations that could go? I think the first one is this Big C. You know, Big C's got a very, very clean level over here, and we're right at that sweet spot, about $62, give or take. If you're looking at, I always look at an hourly chart just to get a little bit cleaner view of things. You can see here, you got right at a 62 spot. I think if this thing clears, you're going to see 75, $70, $75 very, very quickly. You can see this thing is a high flyer. When I'm looking for stocks that fell at least 50% off their lows that got a base. So you got this thing, it's $167, got down to 44. You know, we're starting to make our way back. I really like the overall look of this. I think Snow is another one. This thing was $450, right? I mean, everybody, even Warren Buffett, Phoebe Buffett's older brother was buying this thing. Is that $450? You got them sub 200, you know, and this company's probably a turd too. Like, it's definitely overvalued for the most part, but we're traders, so it doesn't really matter. But you can see here, you got a very key level here in this 245, 246 zone. Love the overall look of this. I will say with this one, it's trading a little bit thin. I would wait for probably some kind of pullback on this, just, you know, down into the zone like a retest. I think that one's going to be really good. Look at ZM. You know, ZM was $600. You know, this was, you know, the bell of the ball. You've got a nice range break setting up here. You had a little bit of an inside day today, but you've got a really nice range break setting up over here. I think you got room probably into the 400s on this one. A little bit more speculative, but this thing, you know, we used to trade this thing all the time. This XL went from 10 to 35, came all the way back down to $5. We're starting to rebound here. This is what we call like a base breakout. You know, back in the day, you know, when we were allowed to say a little bit more rowdy things, we used to call this the double bottom booty bounce. And it's got that look, right? You get that rounding bottom. This thing is hot to trot. On the day trade side, it's ready right now. On a swing trade side, I'd probably hit the first pullback, let it retest into that breakout spot. If it does, I think you're going to have a nice shot on this as long as the market conditions hold up, right? And then your risk would probably be down, you know, into the 7 range, and you play for a little bit of rebound. Sumo's got a big level that's been setting up here at about $21 and some change. This is also the software application sector. It was a hot, high-flying stock for a while. Got the $46. You got into the teens on this one. You've got a lot of room. If this thing squeezes over that level, I think you're going to get, you know, a really, really nice spot. And then, you know, I have some other ones like this Mongo Bongo, DocuSign. I think these are a little bit more larger cap, you know, tech stocks, but you've got a nice level on this Mongo Bongo here too. You know, that if it can get out, man, we're going to have ourselves a little bit of fun on this one. RMO could be one also. So you got a whole host of these things, but you're seeing it like right with space and some of these stocks that were like all like $70, $80 that got down so low, they are just flying around to this. I mean, they're flying. Holy crap, like look at these things. What's going to happen, guys, as the IWM breaks out here and the QQQs breaks out? People are going to get more emboldened to take on risk. Any stock that's left near a bottom is going to be bought up. So that's why you're seeing all these kind of, you know, stocks like these Wish and stuff get bought up today. I know a lot of times people say like, oh, it's a Wall Street Bets thing or this thing. You know, that's part of it. But look, you can have all the Redditors and YouTubers and in the world, you know, talking about names. But when, you know, the market itself and growth and speculation are getting dumped, nobody can pump a stock, right? When you need good market conditions to really get a stock going, so like, you know, the Wall Street Bets crowds and those kind of meme guys, even they can't, when the market is in the tanker, it's in the pooper. Like you just can't get anything to get going. Now that the markets rebound, all these things are going to come back into play, right? They were very quiet the last few months. Now they back into play. And so now you're going to see a lot of these kind of stocks that are off a bottom get picked up, and you know, we'll see what's going on. You know, this root is something that I've been really looking at for quite some time too. This is a little bit more speculative. I believe though, you know, and who knows, Citron is, they were talking about the stock a couple months ago, give or take. Now, you know, these guys gave up shorting at the market top, so you know I don't know how much we can actually believe them. But this is a nice bottoming pattern here. I think we got to come in hot on some of these. They are going to be like ready to roll. I would say anything that's just 50% or more off its highs. I know a lot of people are into the short interest and stuff like that, but short interest data is notoriously very, very hard to find accurate data. For example, like this Wish did 254 million shares. There's a good shot that like everybody that was short covered today. I mean, how do we really know? They only update the short interest data. They say every 2 weeks, and sometimes for some stocks, it feels like it's once a month or every 2 months, depending on, you know, how turd of a company it is. When you get 200 million shares, like, okay, you had your short squeeze. Now what, right? You don't really necessarily know, but there's a couple of these like Root, you know, maybe even this like Go-To that are just down so much, right? This thing was $151. Like most likely this company's worth a zero, but it's definitely worth a one-day short squeeze. You know what I mean? Even Tal, you know, some of these things probably got some, but I think the Root has like a much easier location on this thing. So guys, hopefully that helps. You know, this is something that you guys got to work on. Market conditions are always trading. We were bear market in tech a month ago. Now we're in bull. You got to learn how to switch. It's one of the things that we talk about a lot in my 60-day boot camp. We're starting up classes always. I'm continuously in class. So I go from one 60-day boot camp to the next. Our next one will start in a couple weeks. For those of you guys that are former students, remember, you are always welcome to retake boot camp class as many times as you want. And I teach these things live, and we hammer into every single detail in them, from using this platform over here and making the scans, to finding the stock. How do we enter? How do we exit? How do we time things to the penny? And then, of course, beyond that, I'm trading in front of you guys live all day. So I get on the GoToWebinar, and I'm trading and giving you guys, what I trade, so that you can take that book knowledge that you learn in class and in real time, watch me trade, use it as an awesome learning apparatus, but also get the confidence that somebody can go out there and shred every day. As always, if you guys have any questions, hit me up, add a comment on the YouTube, or email me, kunal@bullson.ws. Of course, smash that like button. And guys, go make some money, man. It's summertime. Find some love, find some stocks. Let's go do what we do, which is the do.